Hoard. Hoard. Have you ever heard this word before? Hoard. This is a great word to add to your daily English vocabulary. It's a pretty common word. It's not the most common. It's not like the word me or weather. You use those words every day, right? I mean, this word, it's common, okay? It's good to add to your English vocabulary, especially if you are going to take an English exam, like the CELPIP exam, right? So this would be a great word to use if you face a question like this. If you're doing the IELTS exam or the CELPIP, okay, I've made a lot of CELPIP videos on my channel. CELPIP stands for Canadian English Language Proficiency Index Program. Boy, that's a mouthful. That's a mouthful. If there's a long name, sometimes companies have long names, or just if something is hard to say, maybe it's almost like a bit of a tongue twister. You can say, wait, that's a mouthful. Canadian English Language Proficiency Index Program. That's a mouthful. So on the speaking part of the exam, task 1 is about giving advice. Now, why would they choose this as the very first task on the exam? Well, because this is a common part of the English language, right? We give advice every day. Maybe your sister calls you on the phone, hey, I need some advice. And so you give her advice. Or maybe you like giving people advice even if they don't ask you. Do you like that? Is that a pet peeve of yours? A pet peeve means something that frustrates you. Maybe people love giving you advice and you don't even want their advice. You didn't even ask for it. And people are telling you what to do with your life. Get out of my life, Buster. Buster. That's it's an informal word you can use to talk to someone that maybe that when would we use that, Buster? Get out of my life, Buster. It's like a way of almost disrespecting them. It kind of means like dude or man or whatever. It's kind of, you're disrespecting. You're saying kind of get it. Yeah, I would say it's a word. It's a term that you can use for someone to almost like to put them down or to say you don't want to deal with them. I should look it up after this, and maybe I'll make a video about that, okay? So if you're not subscribed to my channel, I'm going to make a video about the word Buster. So you better smash that subscribe button and that like button if you want to learn about this stuff. Okay, so this is a great word to use if I were answering this question. Let's look at this question, okay? Your sister's house is full of things she never uses. Boy, that's a common scenario, right? Is your house full of things you never use? So call your sister and give her advice on what to do. Okay, so, when you're taking the CELPIP exam, you're wearing a headset, right? And now for this one, you have 90 seconds. So you have 1.5 minutes to answer this question. What are you going to say? Well, stick around to the end of this video. I'm going to give you my sample answer. I'm going to tell you how I would answer this question, and maybe I'll even set my timer and try to talk for 90 seconds so you can hear my example. But the word I would use is the verb hoard, or a person. Well, let's before I get into that, let's just talk about what this means. Hoard. It means to stockpile money, food, or other things. You hoard it. You hoard it. You hoard. You accumulate things selfishly. I need all this stuff for me. I'm hoarding it. To amass things obsessively. Amass. Okay, all these verbs mean the same thing, basically. Stockpile. Accumulate. Amass. Okay. I like this word, amass. That's great. Okay, to amass things obsessively. Sometimes, hoarding, it's almost like a mental disorder where people just they get so much stuff. It's like an addiction. It's really like an addiction. They just constantly just getting things and hoarding them. Okay, so that's what the verb hoard means. Okay, to stockpile or to accumulate or to amass. Now, this word hoarder, this is a person. Okay, a hoarder, a person who hoards things. So, a person who accumulates a lot of stuff and is unwilling to get rid of it. Do you know anyone like this? You know, who just maybe their house is full of stuff that they never use. And they oh, maybe I'll need that one day. I can't get rid of it because maybe someday in the future I'll need that. I'll give you an example. Let's say a TV remote. Okay, so imagine if a person has a TV, the TV breaks, and let's say that now a hoarder wouldn't throw out the okay, so let's say their TV breaks, they put their TV somewhere in some cupboard or something, and they keep the remote. Or maybe they do get rid of the TV, but they keep the remote because they think maybe I'll need this sometime. Maybe some future TV that I buy maybe the remote will be useful for something. So I'm gonna keep it, and I'm gonna just put it in this drawer here. Maybe sometime in the future I'll need that. And then this drawer will get full of stuff, right? And then maybe they need to buy another cabinet, or they need to buy. They're just always accumulating things, right? They can never just let things go. That is a hoarder. Okay, now this concept is so interesting for people that there's a TV show, actually, a TV show about this called Hoarders. Have you ever seen this? Now, I have seen a few episodes. So I'm not too familiar with this show, but I've seen a few episodes of it. It's interesting. I think they made like 16 seasons so far. 16 seasons, so it's a successful show. People are interested in this. It's interesting to watch because the show is all about people, who are hoarders, like serious hoarders. The show, they go into different people's houses and stuff like that, and the house is literally just full of junk that they never use, but they just can't get rid of it. Like, that's what kind of the word obsessive means. Obsessive. It's like an addiction. So I don't know if I don't know if you can find this show online. I don't know where people watch it. I don't think it's on Netflix. I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm sure you could search for it and find it. But that's what a hoarder is. A hoarder. Okay. Now, I don't know if you remember during the pandemic. During the pandemic, it was like a worldwide emergency, right? And what were people doing? Do you remember that time? That would have been around February 2020, I think, February, March. It was this kind of the spring of 2020. Suddenly, suddenly it was like an emergency, and everybody went to the store. And what did they buy? What did they buy? They bought toilet paper. Global emergency. The world's going into lockdown. We need toilet paper. Not food. No, not medicine. Toilet paper. They weren't thinking about other things. They weren't thinking about how to feed their children. They were thinking about their butt. They were thinking about their butt. They had their head up their ass. All the people had their heads up their asses. Hey, do you know what that means? To have your head up your ass, or some people say arse. To have your head up your arse. Ass is another word for butt, and arse is another word for ass. All right. To have your head up your ass means to be oblivious to reality. Oblivious means you don't have a clue. You're completely unaware. It's like your brain is somewhere else. Your head is somewhere else. It's either maybe in the clouds or it's up your ass. It means you're not aware of really what's going on. You're oblivious, right? That's what oblivious means. So imagine if you're a king, and let's say all the people in your kingdom hate you, but you don't even know it. You're just in your castle. You're having a great time. You're just having fun. You just you're just playing with your money and your all the different stuff that you enjoy. You don't even know that your citizens, the citizens of your kingdom, are preparing to storm the castle and kill you because they hate you so much. To storm means you run. All the people run, run up to the castle. They break down the door and they go and they're going to grab you and, they're going to kill you. Right? But you're in your castle. You're the king. You're in your castle. You're just having a great time. You're completely oblivious to the reality, to reality. What the real state of affairs is. Affair means something happening. The state of affairs. The real situation. So why are people oblivious? Why do they have their heads up their ass? Well, because you're either stupid or self-centered. So really, those are the options. I mean, if a person has their head up their ass, they're clueless, right? They're clueless. Maybe they're just stupid, or maybe they're just so focused on themselves. They're arrogant, right? They're self-centered. That's all they think about. Sometimes my recording software just adds weird things to the to the thing. I'm using QuickTime Record on my iMac. So I had a question a few days ago on my channel. Someone said, "What camera are you using to record your videos?" Well, now I have a new studio here. I kind of built a small studio for myself here, and I'm using an iMac. So I'm not using a camera. This is a computer. I'm recording from a computer. So the iMac is right there. You can see how close I am, right? I can almost touch you. I cut my finger. That's why I have a Band-Aid on there. But yeah, so my iMac is right here. I'm recording this on an iMac. And I have a laptop here that's plugged into here, the Mac Studio display. So I have 3 Mac. I've got an iPhone. I got 4 Apple products right here. Isn't that interesting? And I got a trackpad for my iMac. Anyway, so just a side note. So QuickTime Record, what I'm using to record this video, sometimes it adds weird pop-ups like balloons or like buttons. I don't know. Just ignore those things, guys. So, are you oblivious? Do you have your head up your arse? So these people during the pandemic, and I witnessed it. To witness something means you see it with your own eyes. I witnessed it firsthand. Okay? Firsthand means personally. I witnessed it firsthand. That means I was there in the store shopping, right? Big grocery stores. There was some food. There was some, meat, vegetables, products. When I would go to when I went to the toilet paper aisle, the toilet paper aisle was completely empty. None. 0 toilet paper. It was the first time in my life I ever saw a whole aisle empty. And it was like that in every single store. Okay, Costco, Superstore, Walmart, Here in Canada for a while anyway. I don't know, it was a few weeks or a few months before they could restock, but it was just literally everything. I remember thinking, like, are these people dumb? Of all the things you could accumulate, you're you're hoarding toilet paper? Wow. Okay. So if we go back to the king example, right? The king, you could say the king has his head up his ass. He's got his head up his ass. They have their heads, this is plural, okay, if you're talking about people in plural, they have their heads up their asses. Those guys have their heads up their asses. Got their heads up their asses. Do you have your head up your ass? So to hoard kind of has this idea that you're not going to share. Okay? You're not trying to get stuff so that you can help other people or help poor people, or, it has this idea of selfishness. Okay? You're hoarding because of you. You're thinking about you. Okay? This is the like button again. You. Is it because when I say you? Maybe if I, or maybe it detects if I go like this. Hey, look at that, guys. Fireworks. You came here to learn English and you got a fireworks show. That's great. Okay, so here are some example sentences. Stop hoarding TP. TP means toilet paper. Okay, stop hoarding. There's ing because this is in the continuous tense. Right? You're doing that now. You're hoarding toilet paper. Stop hoarding toilet paper. Okay. My sister is a hoarder. My sister is a hoarder. It's not good to hoard money or food. Okay. It's not good to hoard money or food. So here's the word hoard, hoarder, hoarding. Or we could add an S. We'd say hoards. He hoards money. He hoards toilet paper. Okay, so it's just a normal verb. It changes, as any verb does. So hoard can also be a noun. Okay, so it was a verb. All the examples we just talked about, that was a verb. But it's also a noun, which means like a stash. A stash. It can be called a stash or a hoard. So look at this example. The pirate fought to the death to protect his hoard of gold. The pirate fought to the death. That means the pirate died trying to protect his hoard. It means the physical stockpile. Maybe it's in a chest. Chest is like another word for like a box. A nice big box is like a chest. So think about a pirate. He's got a big chest of gold. Okay, the pirate fought to the death to protect his hoard. Or we could say his stash of gold. Okay, so again, stash can be a noun or a verb. You could say, this is my stash of money. Look at this. I don't have any stash of money to show you a real example, but imagine if I had all my money here. This is my stash of money. Okay, or it's a verb. I'm stashing away money for the future, right? So stash. Okay, so that's it, guys. It's a very advanced, it's not advanced, it's high level. Okay, sometimes people kind of get that mixed up. Like when I use the word advanced, I don't mean like a rare word that only experts use. I mean a real word that is considered high level, that is very specific, and the exam people, the people who listen to your exam and give you a certain score, they're going to like that word. because it's high level. Normal English learners, they don't use words like this. They might say like collect money, or so for example, in the let's just see here. Okay, so in the speaking, right, task 1, giving advice. Your sister's house is full of things she never uses. Okay, call your sister and give her advice on what to do. So what would you say? Whether you're taking the exam or any exam or not, doesn't matter. How would you answer this question? If you had to call your sister, well, the perfect word to use here is hoard, because her house is full of things she never uses. That's called hoarding. She is a hoarder. So, in this question, you need to call her. So I'm going to do that right now. Okay, I'm going to set my timer for 90 seconds. Now, I haven't prepared. I don't know what I'm going to say. Just like when you go to the exam, you don't know. You don't have time to prepare. For this one, you have 30 seconds to prepare. I'm not even going to take 30 seconds. All right, we just talked about the word hoard, so I already know I'm going to use the word hoard. The CELPIP people, they want you to use a certain word, but they're not going to tell you what word they're thinking of. So in this situation, so this is a clue. Your sister's house is full of things she never uses. What is a word for that? She never uses them. She doesn't sell them. She's not doing anything with them. It's just there. The word is hoarding. You guys should watch that show. Maybe I'm going to try to see if I can find that show online somewhere, Hoarders. Because those episodes that I watched, that was maybe 10, 20 years. I think that was maybe 10, 15 years ago that I watched a couple episodes. I remember the people's houses that they went into. They were just, it's insane. So hoarding is a very serious, it's like a mental health problem that people have. So it's just funny. It's a funny show to watch anyway. So I'm going to go to my stopwatch here and I'm going to start the timer. Now, just as a side note, remember, if you're talking to your sister, you could say, hey, sister, or you could use her name. Make up any name. Hi, Anna. Hi, Jen. Hi, what other names? I don't know any women's names, guys. Do you know any women's names? I can think of Anna and Jen. That's it. Okay. So a lot of people surprisingly, a lot of people miss the instructions on who you're talking to. They're so focused on this part of the question that then start, the test, it'll say, start speaking now. And they say, hi, Ben, I want to give you some advice on how to. Well, no, there are male names and there are female names in English. Okay, if you're calling Peter or John or something, I don't know why. I've worked with a lot of people. A lot of people use the word John. Okay, well, John is typically it's a male name. Okay, Johnny could be a male or female. So I don't know. Just if it's talking to your sister, just choose a common female name. And if it's talking to your brother or a man or uncle or friend or someone that's a male, then use a male name. Just go with some easy ones. You could pick John and Anna or Jen, whatever. Okay. So, just try to pick the right gender. A lot of people make that mistake. Trust me. So just don't make that mistake. Okay. So I'm going to set my timer here for 90 seconds and we'll see how I do. Okay, here we go. Hey, sister. I just wanted to talk to you about something. Do you have a second just to, sit down and maybe grab yourself a cup of coffee or something? It's not super serious. I just wanted to bring this to your attention. It's no secret that your house is full of stuff. I mean, you every time you go to the thrift store or you go to Salvation Army, you're just coming out with like cartfuls of stuff, and it just sits in your house. And I just wanted to bring this to your attention because it's actually hurting, your life more than maybe you realize. I had your kids over, obviously, on Saturday for a movie night. I love your kids so much, and I'm so happy that they can come over for a movie every now and then. But they actually they mentioned in passing that they were uncomfortable bringing their friends over to your house because they're so embarrassed that the house is so full of junk. So, I mean, please, I just wanted to bring this to your attention. Please, deal with this problem so that your kids can, be all right. Anyway, that's my advice. So, guys, here's another mistake. When you hit the 90 seconds, so try to bring your thoughts to a close like 10 seconds beforehand, right? You could see I went too long. I didn't give a conclusion. That was my mistake. And a lot of people make that mistake. They talk so long that they don't give themselves enough time to give a conclusion. So probably when you hit 80 seconds in this one, I mean, most of the tasks, you only have 60 seconds to speak. But in this one, you have 90 seconds. So, you should use the full 90 seconds, but don't make the mistake that I just made in that I talked so much that I didn't have time for a conclusion. So I got cut off without a conclusion. You will lose marks if you don't give a conclusion. So, I would say, give yourself like 10 seconds of time. So what I should have said was, anyway, I just wanted to, to bring that to your attention. But, you can do with it whatever, however you want to handle that situation. I love you. And as always, look forward to seeing you tomorrow for coffee. Something like that, right? I give maybe a 10-second conclusion. Kind of try to bring the conversation to a close. So there you have it. That was my answer. I made a mistake at the end. Okay, guys, I just listened to my answer again, and it was really bad. So I'm sorry about that. I want to give it another try. Even native English speakers, it's stressful, trying to talk and trying to answer a question. Okay, what you should do is try to pay attention to the instructions and actually obey them. I didn't even give really any advice. I just spent all my time talking about the problem, and I didn't actually give my sister any advice on what to do. So that was a bad answer. I mean, I talked for a long time and I wasted a lot of time. So what you should do in a situation where you're giving advice, try to give a few pieces of advice. What would one piece of advice be? Okay, well, I mean, I didn't even use the word hoarding. Okay, so that was just a brutal answer. But I'm not going to edit it out because that was my real answer. And I want you to see that even I failed. I probably wouldn't get a good score because I deviated from what was actually asked of me. The CELPIP people are asking this question and you need to answer it. And I deviated. I was talking about having the kids over for Saturday night and it was a good idea. Okay, I had a good idea that, what I wanted to say was that her hoarding is hurting people. Maybe she doesn't even understand how much it's hurting her because her kids don't even want to invite their friends over to the house because the house is so full of junk. They're embarrassed. The kids are embarrassed to invite their friends over. So that's hurting them. That's hurting anyway, I went off and I talked a lot about that. That was a good idea, but I kind of failed to answer the question. So if you fail, if you give an answer on the test and you realize, I didn't answer the question properly, forget about it and move on to the next one. Try to just erase that one from your memory, because these questions just go back to back, right? They're 8 tasks. This is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So try not to dwell on your mistake. So to dwell on your mistakes means you think about them and you let it occupy your mind. On the test, you just got to forget about that stuff. But learn from my mistake, okay? Learn from the mistake I just made. I didn't give her any tips or any useful advice. I just talked about the problem. So I'm going to give it another shot here. Now that I've I listened to my answer, I thought that was a really bad answer. That was a really bad answer. Okay, so and I think too, I was trying too hard to beat around the bush. If you beat around the bush, that means you're avoiding the central problem. Okay, it's in a sensitive situation, like you're calling your sister. The reason I beat around the bush is because I didn't want to say, hey, sister, you're a hoarder. But maybe I should have done that. Just try to go directly in, like when you have 30 seconds to prepare, right? Maybe write down 1 or 2 high-level words that you want to use, and then write down, if you have time, maybe 1 or 2 pieces of advice on what she should actually do. So I'm going to try again. I'm going to see how it goes, okay? Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. So guys, let's see here. I'm going to start my timer right now. Hey, Jen, do you have a second? I just want to talk to you about something. So I think you know that you have a problem with hoarding. Man, you're a real hoarder. I don't want to say that to attack you in any way. I don't like controlling other people's lives. But the reason I want to bring this to your attention is because, on Saturday night when I had your kids over for a movie night, they mentioned that they're embarrassed to invite their friends over to your house because it's so full of junk. Right? So I think you should just kind of acknowledge that it's hurting your family, and so you need to deal with this. Now, I want to give you some advice on how to handle this situation, okay? Because I used to deal with this problem too. I used to be a big hoarder. All right, so the first thing is you got to get rid of your stuff. A lot of your stuff, most of your stuff. I'd go through your house and just start putting everything you have into the garage and have a big garage sale. All right, just sell almost all of your stuff, except for maybe the really important things that are really dear to your heart. So the first thing I'd say is do a garage sale. The other thing you can do is you can sell things on like Facebook Marketplace or Kijiji or other things too. Or you can just take things and donate them to the secondhand store. Guys, I'm running out of time again. Time's up. My time's up. Guys. This is hard. I want you to know that I have a lot of respect for you if you're taking the CELPIP exam. I have a lot of respect for you because it's hard. It's hard to do everything within the time frame. I should have just been more efficient in my time. Okay, so I hope you're learning from me here. You're learning. Should I try again? Let me try again. So what my mistake was I spent too much time at the beginning and I didn't spend enough time on actually giving her advice. So the primary request here, this question is about giving advice. So you need to give advice. Spend the bulk of your time on giving advice. So guys, you know what? I'm just going to start again. Give me another chance. Will you give me another chance? Let me know in the comments if you'll give me another try. I know on the CELPIP exam you don't have another chance. You got to pay like $300 or whatever to take the test another whole time. So it's stressful, okay? So that's why you need to be prepared and you need to practice running through some questions just so you know what your problems are. Because right now I'm finding I'm having a problem staying within the time limit, and then I don't even have time to give a conclusion at the end. So give me another try. I'm going to try it again here, right? Here we go. Hey, Jen. Just want to talk to you about something real quick. You know, I hate controlling people, and I don't want to say this in any way to control you, but I just want to bring to your attention that I think you're a hoarder. You're hoarding so much stuff in your house, and it's really hurting your family. Your kids mentioned on Saturday night when I had them over for a movie night, they mentioned that they're embarrassed to have their friends over just because your house is so full of junk. So I think you need to get rid of it, Jen. I hate to break it to you, but that's what needs to happen. So here's some advice. And like I said, I'm not trying to attack you. Because I used to be a big hoarder. And I worked through it. I got some help from other people. So I want to help you. The first thing you need to do is go through your whole house. Anything that you haven't used in the past 3 months, take it and put it in a box and put it in your garage. Do this over the next few weeks, and then have a big garage sale. You'll be surprised how much money you can make by having a garage sale. Also, you can list things on Kijiji or Facebook Marketplace. There are other ways to get rid of things. Or, you know what? You can just donate stuff too. Donate stuff back to the thrift store. Instead of buying everything from the thrift store, you can donate it back, and it'll make you feel good too. Your kids will be proud of you, and I'll be proud of you too. So anyway, Jen, I love you so much, and I hope you take these little tidbits. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. See you later. Great. That was okay, that was perfect 90 seconds. That was a great answer. I'm proud of that answer. I spent most of the time did I even use the word hoarder? I think I did, yeah. I said you're a hoarder, right? Hoarding things. Okay, so I used high-level vocabulary. I used a few things. At the end, I said, anyway, that's my 2 cents. So I think I'm proud of that answer. I think I would get a perfect score for that answer. It would be either 11 or 12, probably, for that answer. So anyway, guys, if you have any questions about this, let me know. But let's do some homework, okay? I want you to, thanks for giving me another couple shots on that. A shot means another try. You say, if you want another try, you can say, give me another shot. Please give me another shot. The CELPIP people will not give you another shot. You have to actually take the whole exam over again. That's frustrating. So guys, I understand your frustration. I respect you a lot for taking this hard exam. But so just to practice using this word, okay, make a sentence with the word hoard, hoarder, and hoarding. Just so you can kind of play around with the word, get familiar with how to use it in different forms. Maybe you could make a few sentences and use these words in those sentences. Are you a hoarder? Guys, it's not good to be a hoarder, right? Did you hoard toilet paper during the pandemic? Now, this is relative, right? Hoarding, how would you define it? Who defines what hoarding is? That's what it means. It's relative. Relative means, how many rolls of toilet paper would someone need to have in their house for you to consider it hoarding? Even now, I probably have, those big packs of toilet paper that you can buy at Costco? They've got they've got maybe 36 rolls, or maybe more. Maybe it's 48 rolls in a big pack, double layer or triple layer. I can't remember. It's a big pack. The average Canadian family, I would say, has at least a few big packs of toilet paper in their house. So let's say a pack has 36 rolls. If you go into any family, let's say 2 parents, 2 kids, they're going to have at least a few packs of toilet paper in their pantry or somewhere in their house. Okay, a pantry is a small room in a house that is used to store food or other things. Okay, very often the pantry is right kind of beside the kitchen. Maybe it's part of the kitchen. It might be a little room, or maybe just some shelves with maybe like a sliding door. And you can put your food items there. I don't know, that's called a pantry. So again, the word pantry is a pretty high level word because not very many English learners use the word pantry. They know the word kitchen, bedroom, bathroom, but do you know pantry? That's a great word to use. You know. So yeah, anyway, I mean, I would say the average Canadian family has probably like 100 rolls of toilet paper in their house. I might have 100 here. I should go check. Now I'm curious how much toilet paper I have, but it might be 100 rolls. So how many rolls would you consider hoarding? For me, I would say if someone had like 5 or 6 of those giant packs from Costco, I think those packs must have like, I don't know, maybe it's like 48 rolls or 36 rolls. If someone had like 5 or 6 of those in their house, I would say that's getting to the point of hoarding. Like during the pandemic, you'd see people coming out of these stores with a shopping cart full of toilet paper. Like they were walking out with like 200-300 rolls of toilet paper in one visit. That's why all the shelves were empty, right? How much toilet paper do you have in your house right now? Let me know down in the comments. Yeah, I don't know. It's all relative. Like whatever you might think, having 20 rolls at one time is hoarding. But for me, I would consider maybe if a person had like 500 rolls of toilet paper, that would be hoarding. Okay, a normal amount. It's not. I wouldn't say it's hoarding. But anyway, so that's it, guys, for this lesson. Anything else? Do you have any questions for me? Let me know down in the comments. I'll try to answer them. And as always, I love you guys so much. Hope you're staying safe, healthy, and happy. If you're getting ready to do the CELPIP exam, here's a hug. Here's a hug for you. It's hard. Just do your best, give it your best shot, and I wish you the best of luck. So guys, that's it. Stick around for the next lesson, or I think I'll make it about the word buster. Teach you the word buster. So I love spending time with you guys. So thank you very much for always watching my videos, for smashing that like button and leaving nice comments. I really appreciate it. All right, well, that's it for now. As always, I'll see you over in the next episode of Mad English TV. Take care.